Hey traders, this is Captain Jim James with your daily brief for August 24th, 2021. That's Tuesday. Now, some of you have been on this channel for a long time. Well, a long time is just a couple weeks, but you've seen this build up. Again, we are still where we said we would be. So we'll continue to write this narrative as we go along until something changes. Just building upon these previous videos, all this leads and sets up to where we're going, what's going to happen, and I'll keep adding these things in for you over time so that you can start to piece the puzzle together. Now, before we get into this, I want to say something. I want you to know that I'm a trader. I'm not a bull. I'm not a bear. I can piss off a lot of people. You need to understand that about me is that I can't take just one side. And if you're following me on Twitter or on YouTube, and if I'm rubbing you the wrong way, you should probably start thinking about why I'm rubbing you the wrong way. If I'm not fitting your narrative, it's important for you to find out why I'm not fitting your narrative, okay? So you can hate me or love me at times, and then when you do hate me, though, is when it's most important. When I have let me go back for a minute. So if I'm fitting your narrative, and then all of a sudden I'm not fitting your narrative, there's a reason for that, and it's your due diligence to listen to that. If I want to listen to a bull all day long, every day for the next year, or a bear all day long for the next year, and I'm a bull or I'm a bear, it's always going to fit my narrative of things. But it's not actually going to fit what the market is doing. So this applies to investors as well. How many times do you have investors telling you when, where, what, how, or bulls telling you where, when, how? It's so rare. It's sometimes, but it's rare to have like a perma bull, a perma bear, or a perma investor telling you when to get out or strategies to make money as things go forward. That's what financial advisors actually do, right? And we're going to talk about financial advisors later. It's important because it's part of why our market's going up right now. But before you get pissed off at me, you can yell at me on Twitter, you can yell at me here on YouTube or whatever. That's fine, I get it. And I do mock and make fun of both bulls and bears at times. So I know it seems like I'm making fun of bears more than bulls more recently. And the reason is because you can't be a fucking bear 100% of the time. Unless you're selling some shit, you just can't. You just can't. You can't survive like that. I guess I've heard some people say that you can go all in and big moves for this one little moment, then be a bear, all that kind of fucking horse shit. I mean, why the fuck would you want to be trying to time some shit that's going to happen? It's pure fucking insanity. None of the math actually makes sense or is true. It just isn't. Most of those guys are just selling you shit. That's what it is, okay? I want to take easy street whenever I can. And that's by mostly being a bull and sometimes being a bear. Now, we have to talk about something because it's very important. We've talked about this, ad nauseum, right? So we've got the economic symposium. It's important for new traders to understand if you're not from a background of owning a business or being upper management. When these symposiums happen, these are when the big boys get together and they make decisions in person. These are when like grown men and grown women, people with power, people with money, they start to say, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. You might get 3 or 4 guys that'll gang up on one guy, and then by the time it gets through 3 or 4 meetings, they're sitting with 15 women or men or whatever in a room and telling somebody what's going to happen. So when J-Pow is going to do a Zoom call and call it in, and then all of a sudden he switches it to nobody's showing up, that's because of power, because of money, power, and that's what it is. So that was an original signal to say, whether you like it or not, you know, you have your Main Street hat and you've got your trader hat. That was the trader hat saying, nothing's fucking happening right now. And you need to hear that as a bull and a bear. And we got further reconfirmation of this from Kaplan, who's the bear mouthpiece, saying what? This guy says he's watching Delta variant and says he may need to adjust his view. That's not his view. Now, let me get through all this, especially if you're a bear, because you have to hear this. It's important. Because then you've got Yellen saying she's going to reappoint, or backs reappointing Fed Chair Powell, right? That doesn't happen until February. You get all this specific news coming out. Then you've got some bullshit reason about the Pfizer vaccine, okay? Approval and a reopening play for why the market's going up right now. So you've got all these pieces fitting in the puzzle. I don't give a flying fuck what you think about Afghanistan. I don't give a flying fuck what you think about the vaccine or Corona. I don't talk about it on Twitter. I don't care what you think, and you shouldn't care about what I think. Because we have our Main Street hats, right? And then we have our trader hats. And you have to kind of separate the two. When people are on the Twitter, and FinTwit specifically, and they're talking about politics, or they're talking about events, I start to fucking mute people that aren't associating the two with exactly with what's going on that's important to the market. And it's not that Corona is not important to the market, it's when the people with power and money make it important, for good or bad, okay? That I have to start paying attention. That's when you should start paying attention. When you want to fucking argue with somebody about coronavirus or Afghanistan or whatever, you keep that shit somewhere else in some different fucking alternate social media pages you have. It's important for you to differentiate the two, because you can get caught up, even as a bull, you can get caught up in the politics or in the news, fall down a hole, and then all of a sudden your fucking shit's burning. That's you as a bull, bear, it doesn't fucking matter. You have to separate the two, right? I'm not going to fucking goddamn barbecues on Sunday and telling these assholes that are Main Streeters, you know, the regular people in the world, and telling them that every fucking Sunday, all my friends think that the fucking market's going to burn and that the United States of America is going to become a fucking fifth world country. I don't tell them that shit. I leave that for you and I when we're talking. Does that make sense to you? So I think some of it, from the older traders, it does. The younger traders, they get fucking wrapped into this shit in the market. That's bull and bear side. So anyways, rant over. You have to see that the key is being put together to raise this market up. You also have to understand that I haven't spoken about to this point is that last night I pointed my cursor higher and told you that the bull trap was here. And where I pointed my cursor was not down below, and it was not where the market was. I said it was up above. That's important. And surely, shit you not, the market went up today. And it's going to continue to go up and come back down. They sell into these moves. They're going to tell you that everything is fine. They're going to tell you that we're doing a reopening play. And we're going to make money off of this, quote, reopening play, quote, Fed Chair Powell, right? We already know the story behind this, right? We're not going to let him get out of here. We already know that as a bull, if you've been in the market for a long time, especially as an investor, that you're starting to de-risk. We already know that you're going to be goaded into re-entering, right? That 150 apple you could have gotten 170. At some point, the rug pull is coming. And they are setting this up for a classic rug pull. Now, that rug pull, we don't know when it is. It could be fucking tomorrow. It could be in fucking October. We don't know. But shit surer than Sherlock, we fucking know that the rug pull ain't happening yesterday or today, whatever the fuck it was, the 23rd on Monday. And so we have to always go back to the basics and say, you know, it's funny too. I got to say something about this. A ton of older traders, they go down these other holes where it's like they're looking at all this fucking complicated shit to decide where the market's going. You come up with this fucking answer. And in reality, if you just use some basic trading tools, everyone hates VWAP, but if you're coupling VWAP with strong supports and resistances, when you're charting out your day, when you're just getting the news that you need to have, you start to use these basic things, it makes life easier for you as a trader. It makes you know when to go short, makes you know when to go long, makes you know when to wait to go to reshort a stock, an ETF, the market, or whatever. So you start to brush all this bullshit people are trying to fucking sell you, as to the winning reasons or the secrets and all this other fucking noise that you find on the internet or in the stock market. So my point to you is this: stay focused. You should be de-risked in this environment, and you're now kind of in my world if you want to get long, and you're now kind of in my world if you want to be a fucking bear, because there are places where you should definitely be a bear, and there are places that you should definitely be going long without too much risk. We talk about 10 to 30%. We talk about trading the market that's in front of you. I mean, all this shit lines up. None of this shit that I've talked about has not lined up at all. It's completely lined up. I'm sorry to rant so much, but start to put the pieces together as we go into a seasonal downward trend. You're going to hear these things that are going to make the market run. We are going to play the market as it runs. We're going to grab our short positions and our puts where we're supposed to once we get confirmation, and then we'll always be ready when the bull trap is actually sprung. We'll know where it is. We'll know where to go short. We'll know how to ride this market up for the next 4 weeks or one day, and we'll definitely know when we can get in to go with our seasonal downward movement heading into fall and winter, right? And some parts of spring possibly. Now, we do have one problem in this fucking whole equation, and that is tapering and rates. I mean, it's a real problem. You have to accept this if you're a bull and a bear seasonally. If we're going to de-risk, we really do want it right now. And the whole Powell thing could go away literally in a month. It could go away in a month. That's the thing. When you see these news pieces, all this shit is current until it isn't. So when you hear like, oh, if you're a bull and you're scared, you're like, oh, you might have that black swan event, or you're a bear and you hear that, and you go, well, shit, we're fucked next year or the year after. All this news could change at any fucking moment. So take this news for what it's worth and where we are right now. Now, tomorrow, we have a very slow economic calendar. Can we get this thing back up here? We had our existing home sales on Monday. We already know about PMI, but we have that missed. I think they missed. But existing home sales, and no one fucking cares about this stuff. They want to know about what the fuck is going on in Jackson Hole, even if some guy's jerking off under a table or some woman's wearing, I don't know, a banana hammock or something. But existing home sales were positive, and tomorrow, new home sales more than likely be positive from the existing home sales numbers, although the expected number is a hell of a lot larger than they should be. Now, we have no news, basically, okay? Wednesday, Thursday, they lead up into big news on Friday with the Jackson Hole Symposium. You will see some talk about sell the news on that event now. You will see some talk about volatility from now until then, and we'll get into the charts later as to why they want that volatility, because they want to raise up the market, drop it down to get gains, drop it down, and then raise it back up into the next OPEX or near the next OPEX for more gains. Between now and the next OPEX, we are going to go up and down. We always do. Always. Within a month, we go up and down. That's what we have tomorrow. Let's take a look at ES. And sure than shit, this is actually live, I think. I think this is actually live data. I don't think this is the free program. I think this is the one I signed up for. And sure than shit, you can see that we've hit all of these targets all day long today. No surprises here. You can see the demand, or you can see we talk about the 1, 2, 3, and then a move up or a move down. Was there volume coming into the market? Sure than shit, we ended the day up here, right? So I don't know what else to say to you at this point. We're up above. The things that you need to know is that futures is doing repair. There's a gap over here. There's not that much gap here. There's some gap down here, and there is no gap down here, right? So you're going to need to look at that when tomorrow starts the trade. Do I think we go below 44,112.25 tomorrow? Fuck no. No fucking way. When I look at this, all this area of consolidation in here, right? This is actually volume profile before you see the tricked out charts that these people are showing you on social media. You know that people are still in here. You know you've got sellers trapped up here, right? So you're going to find some demand. You're going to find the most demand down here. You're going to find some demand down here. and you're going to find a little bit of demand here, right? So we might trace back down to 4450.25 at the least. This is like a hook on a fishing pole. They're pushing this up to see if there are buyers and cash to go above. And they're going to, if no one buys, we're going to drop down until we find buyers. Now, something you want to see here is where is the top, right? That's the thing everyone wants to know, right? Where is the top? It's way up here. And you say something to yourself like, what if we hit the top tomorrow? Well, there are computers, there are algorithms. Let's say this is the top. And this algorithm and this computer knows that this is the top. So they're going to want to trade up, they're going to want to trade back down, or they're going to want to trade down here, and they're going to want to make their way until mid-September. They're going to want to capture as much profit as they possibly can in this environment. I did this like crayon chart where I showed how old school markets worked. Well, now we have computers in there. These computers destroy intrinsic value in options. They just destroyed. And people complain, they say, well, it's those fucking day traders. It really isn't day traders. It's computers that are trying to make max gains in a time frame between where we start and where they want this to go. When you see stocks get pinned in OPEX at a specific price, it's because they already know where it's going. And in between now and then, they really don't fucking care. Well, they do care. They care about making money in these moves all the way up into when we get there. So my point to you is you need to pay attention to the moves that are being made. You need to pay attention to the news up here, right? Where they're telling you the market's going. And then you need to pay attention to the seasonality of where we are. And the seasonality of where we are is they're going to sell this market down, and they're going to make you think that everything is fine. That's what they're going to do. They're going to give you exuberance. They're going to probably send it up above, send it up this way, and you're going to want to start going long in specific stocks that you got out too early in. You want to, if you're a bear and you want to know what's fueling this, there's another reason. If you are a fund manager that, let's say you provide a 401k to a large group of people that are workers, and inside of this managed portfolio, you see Tesla, you pick the one that's aggressive, and Tesla is a good example, or GME, no, probably not GME, but a stock that's gone down all year long that was high, let's say last winter or last fall. They have to put some window dressing on that shit. You know, a financial advisor can say to an investor, well, hey, look, you know, we bought Tesla last September or whatever it was, right? We bought Tesla last September. And don't worry, I covered you by shorting Tesla the entire way down. You're still making 30%. Well, that works for a year. It doesn't work in year 2. So they have to raise these stocks up that they shorted so that everything looks good to the Joe guy that works at some factory, or the doctor or whatever. Some fucking lawyer that thinks he's smarter than everybody but has enough money that he doesn't have to manage his own money, right? So they have to prove to these people that it doesn't matter. Can't do that over a year. There's this like psychological thing that they have to raise these stocks up. And in previous videos, I've talked to you about there could be, or what are we going to do, or what's going to happen if the stocks that have been beaten down for the entire year catch a bid, but right now before we head into fall. And I think that's what's happening. If you start to check a bunch of these stocks that have been beaten down all year long, they're catching a bid. You might see Apple sitting there, just like a hook with bait on it for you to go long in it from now for the next month. And in reality, they're going to pump up a bunch of stocks that got ripped all year long. Not like rippy, like that guy says, but like got torn to pieces. They're going to raise the value of those stocks up and bring them back to what they're actually valued at. Don't be going long anywhere by buying stock. This is not the place to buy stock. You could buy stock, I guess, in some of these companies that have been beaten down, but then you have to time when to get out as we go forward. Now, we'll talk about Tesla later because that's kind of an interesting one. But so we're in ES right now, right? So you're looking for some demand, more demand, most demand down here tomorrow. You're also seeing the bait being put up. If you don't see this get picked up right away at open tomorrow, then you're going to know that we're heading down. You might see these calls print. I think I talked about this on Twitter today, where I said I want to go short, and then I couldn't go short because I was too afraid they're going to push it up and then come back down to find the support for the next leg up in this run, okay? So be aware of that. And as what's going on Friday, who cares if we go down again? In all reality, let's say we go up and down and up and down. We're going to trade what we have here, right? And let's say you're a bear. I wouldn't be getting bearish till we get up in here. Or we peak above tomorrow, find failure, no buyers, right? They're all scared. And then you ride this thing down, right? If you're a bear, you want to be waiting until there is at least a breakthrough, no buyers, and a fall back through, okay? Especially timing. When you start to get into the after hours and the futures area, it's a really weird place to be going short and long. Anyways, I'm done with ES. You guys know what's up. If you want to know where the top is, it's right fucking here. If we're going to jump over this, if you think that we're going to go hella bullish up here, right, you're still looking for a jump above, a resting point, because they're going to want to retest this and then a move up and forward. If you're a bear, you're still looking for, you're actually looking for this 4413.50 to break. It's actually raised slightly. You need to see this. And I don't think this is bearish down here at all. Especially right now, I just don't see it. You might get some midnight sell-off. I know about people that talk about the fake price and the real price. I know that there's a fake price and a real price. I know the volume's gone down overall. I know the price is actually down here, and they'll eventually do it. But we're trading 10 to 30% of our accounts. We've just de-risked ourselves along the entire way. If I can make 20, 30, 100, 200, 300%, 1,000%, 500% from now until we do this, that 10% means nothing. It means nothing. And let's say we sell off all night long. Let's say I miss all this down here, okay? Let's say I miss this giant move down here tomorrow. This entire way, I've made so much money, I could care less. I really could. If this thing starts to sell off and we start breaking through this area slowly, I can jump in this to take this down. So the majority of the time, I'm making money. Does that make sense to any of you? I'm not sure if it does or doesn't. Let's move on to NQ. Now, I did get rid of some of these supports and resistances earlier today. I really wanted to see where the actual top in NQ was. And I was bothered that we didn't slam up into this in regular cash hours. This definitely left me bothered. And I don't know what's going to happen in futures tonight. I haven't looked at like a grand view of what futures is. I've been out partying with my family. But what you need to know is this. This is all you need to know is big numbers in here, right? You're going to look for a test down below at 15,251.75. Look at all this consolidation here, right? Look at all of it. We're not bearish until we get below 14,720, or it's basically 14,800. You don't have to go look at the exact numbers. It's 14,800 where it goes below, bounces, and keeps heading lower. Until then, right? Until that happens, you're going to play inside of this channel. If we go above this channel, you're going to wait for it to rest and get some more believers to move up. This is the same shit we've been talking about. So tomorrow, what are we looking for? We're looking for them to look above to 15,400. We're going to look for a look below, somewhere down here. You can even draw another one. You can make it lower. Somewhere between 15,260 and let's call it 15,222. And then we've got this serious area here and another serious area below. More than likely, they're going to try to push above briefly, come back down, and make another shot to go above and start trading higher. We've talked about NQ needing to stay up a little bit longer than IWM into October and November, believe it or not. This could actually happen. This has, until we get to something that says anything differently, past 3 weeks have played this out perfectly. That's what you need to know about tomorrow if you're in the Qs. I took a small short position and then got out of it right into close. I was too afraid to see what this would do right here. I'm looking to see what overnight's going to do and the cash market's going to do. These should be the things that if you're playing the Qs tomorrow, that's what your jam is. This is what you're looking for. This is how you enter a play right here. There's nothing else to say to you about this. So we're going to move over to the Russell, the one that I hate and love. You hate and love. Go back over here. Sure than shit, we bounced down, right? We came back up, and lo and behold, we didn't touch this upper here. I was posting earlier tonight or today, some shorts that were, or some put buying that was coming in, and they did fit the narrative that they really didn't matter if they touched this upper resistance, because lo and behold, where were they dated for? This is October 28th. They're betting that by October 15th, right here, they're betting that somewhere in here that IWM comes down. So that gives you plenty of time to figure out where we're going. So let's get closer. I think it was like maybe $3 million in bets that it was coming down. That's a pretty fair bet. If you're looking at this right here, you can say to yourself, hey, well, so today, right, this is funny. Today we came down, we pushed up, we didn't quite hit this resistance above. And you can even see from previous rips to the high side that we didn't quite hit the top of this resistance as it was happening. So my expectation for tomorrow on IWM, I'm going to put one right in here, right? I think this was the daily, a little bit lower. My expectation would be that we're either going to come down and try to find some support, and you can see this nice trend line right here, right? You can kind of try to find something in there to see if there's anything hiding that we don't know about. You can kind of see something like that right there, right? So we're going to move this down over here, and we're going to look to see some tags down below tomorrow if we go up. If we tag the top down up here, I am not bullish until we break above and bounce and move up higher. I am bearish, though, if we bounce up here, start to stagnate, and start to come down. You'll see these levels get hit as we move down through here. I am generally bearish on IWM. I do, and these are the previous videos again. I told you in the past that we're going to trade in here until eventually everybody gets scared and we bounce out. And this does fit the profile for us to be trading in this vicinity here. This is the 15th, this is the 14th of September while they bring up all of these stocks. IWM could come up even in here. It doesn't really matter. All it matters is that they're going to do the window dressing on small and mid caps that have been dogs all year long in this area. So trade your plan in here. Know that you're looking for a break above, and even when it does break above, we can snap some lines up here over time. You guys are learning how to snap lines where you'll find resistance as we bounce out of this, right? You'll come up here, come back down. You might go sideways in here, right? You might come up here, go sideways down here, and push up. That's what you're looking for. Anytime you see this shit here, you're looking to see that they match up to futures. You're looking to see that they match up during the day, even if it's only close. I had this line right here. It was slightly off. It didn't really matter. It's close enough that you can see that there is going to be a move up or a move down. And so as I post and you get to know me, you'll start to see me saying, hey, I'm looking for this, or no, I'm not ready for this, or I'm ready for that. Let's move on to Tesla. I haven't done a Tesla video in a little while. I've said to you since May. I think it's March. This is actually March right here. But we got involved in May going long as a bull, and it's all played out the entire time. We've talked about buying the dip when stocks are bearish. We've now started to talk about buying the dip when stocks are actually bullish. I talked to you about how some stocks are going to continue to go up even though the indexes sell off over time. That's that bait to buy Apple, when in reality you should be buying a stock that's been beaten down all year long. And Tesla's one of these. Tesla's one of these where it doesn't work to tell somebody that's an investor, hey, we'll catch it again next year. They kind of got fucked this year, and so they need to see this push up. And you also have to see that these are banks doing this. When you start to see the banks coming down here to grab it, here, and specifically here, you have to find out, where do they want to pay off? That's their big question. Where do they want to pay off? Now, I know that you're gonna hear bulls that have de-risked from Tesla, and you're gonna also know that some of the smarter bulls remember what took place in the run-up in 2020. History is important for a stock. Do have bears saying, bears will tell you, I'm going to draw this real quick. Bears are going to tell you that this is the natural pattern of a retracement. Well, this actually took place here and here. That's what makes this bullish over here. When you're asking me when you should be buying, I've already put these levels in. This is only one bar right here. Oops, sorry. Let me move over to a pointer. So this is only one bar, but I've had a bar down here. I've had a bar up here for when you should be buying these bottoms. If you miss this bar, I can only recommend that you hopefully can catch the next one for the next ride up. No one down here complains or cares. Nobody. Nobody. Even this guy up here, he took his profit, okay? You can actually see where you take profit. And I did see another comment today that it's the goddamn day traders that are stopping Tesla from going up. That is inaccurate as well. You need to have this buildup in here, right? Creating I should say, you want to create this volume profile, this base, so that when Tesla does go up to $800, $900, $1,000, it's never going to see that price again for a long time. It might come back down there in a year or two, or if we get a black swan event, but you do not want just us going straight up. We've seen what happens when we do that. We always retrace to fill in these gaps of it. Well, not always, but generally speaking, this is a darling, even if they don't tell you, of big banks. They need to fill this shit in down here so they can make a move up. They don't need to fill in down here. It's already been done. They've had years of this fill in down here. So this is what I'm looking for Tesla. If you really want to know, I'll let you know, okay? We'll get real close on this one. And this is really where I'm at, right? You can move this up if you like. I've had one, I had 1, 2 where to buy, but this is what you're looking for. If you're looking to get bullish here, what are you waiting for? You're looking for a jump above and then a move higher. You can see it right here, right? Jump above, right? Rests down, makes a move higher for a short amount of period of time. So if you want to start getting long in Tesla and you're not already long, you're either waiting for this to come down and touch. You can see it down here, right? Or you're waiting for that move above, a rest, and then another move above. Are you going to catch one of these up here at some point? Yes, you are, to see 800 or 1,000. Moving on. The last of our stocks to watch was GNOG. If you really want, we can start down here at Coin. We didn't really get where we wanted to be over here. I really want to see Coin come down to this 242, 241. I'd really start entering it somewhere in here. 251 maybe. 250 would be a nice place. I feel like 250 is a psychological move to start to take another long in here with a spread. Bill, sure enough, banged out all-time highs. We're waiting for this one to come down. Elastic came down today, but it's still not. This might make a move higher. We could possibly take a small swing to grab this one up here. This is actually has some potential. But why not just take Easy Street and wait for it to come down? We also have Net over here. Just when you think it's time to take a short on Net, all of a sudden, Net's looking bullish. Another beaten down stock, or not beaten down, it started actually growing before, and it still hasn't. It's just quite touching above. We're actually looking for Net to come down and grab this to go long. AppLovin, this is one of the ones that just went full blast. So we missed this one. We missed AppLovin. So now we're looking for AppLovin to retrace. I've been playing these stocks for some time now. So this is kind of funny to see that AppLovin blasted up to 74.97 in after hours. This is hilarious to see. These stocks only go up, by the way. That's all they do. They just go up. You should do the due diligence on these stocks. These things have no let up over here. See this beautiful, gorgeous, what do we have? What do we call this over here, right? Consolidation. We know we're becoming bullish over here. And sure enough, it caught a bid, bounced right at the close to catch a bid to go up. So I'm going to be watching this one tomorrow morning. This is one that I actually want to see. This could be a nice ripper. This could be a great bull spread just expiring on Friday. This one right here, watch this one into tomorrow. Isn't it nice to play stocks, by the way, that are not just constantly going down? You watch this one here, and another one catching a bid in the after hours. Shocker. Straight vertical right now. That's what this thing is doing. Straight vertical. It's just waiting for a dip to be bought. We might actually have some serious plays tomorrow morning. But you can see this, right? Catching a bid down here. No one wants to let this go yet. We're going to watch VIR Biotech tomorrow. Same thing going on over here with XM. We had a dip today. We didn't catch a bid. We did chart this out. We are looking for the first stop at 43.42. I would really like to buy it down here at 42.18 or 41.66. So these charts are starting to shape themselves up to go long in. Agrify. I mean, just look at that gorgeousness up here. This is beautiful. It ripped way higher after showing you this stock. Had you bought this in the pre-market at 31.55, it slammed up to 35.90. But we're not buying it up here. We already talked about that, right? We want to see this thing play out, come down, and either consolidate some more, which is this is a ton of consolidation, but just some kind of liquidity grab. And when you do enough of these tickers, it really doesn't matter. You'll find one that's the great play. You don't fall in love with tickers. And just look at this great move today. This is amazing. This is another one. This one's ready to go. We're gonna hopefully grab this down here for a huge move up on Livent. This is insane. GNOG, right? Boom. Look at that. Banging. But we still want that chance to grab some of this down here, right? We know it's done it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. So do I think it's going to do it again? Maybe not. You might not see that again. But if we see for a moment, we break through this new support line, we're going to grab it for run up. If we see some continuation when cash market comes in, we might grab this tomorrow. This looks like a strong move. You've got a ton of consolidation for a stock that should have retraced. I mean, just look at that. You've got a ton of it. This should have sold off at this point. Someone knows something that we don't know. Now I added some more tonight. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, believe it or not, and 10. I've got 10. We've got Oxy. Look at that. Look at that show of force down here. We had this show of force up here, and we started to trade down and away. So what are we looking for Oxy to be bullish? We know seasonally that oil and gas should be bullish. We know that it should be bullish. We know that by December, it's going to get bullish with this big push up, and it failed. We're going to look for this to get bullish over this hard resistance. And even with this hard resistance, we're going to look at this one over here, and we're going to draw another trend line in. And we know that people are hiding up here. They want to sell. So we've got 2 trend lines here. We got a failure. We're going to look for this to go beyond this, okay? And get above somewhere in here. So we're going to put a line right here. We're going to put another line. Yep, just in here. You can actually see how those match up. That's gorgeous. And then we're going to put another one right over here. And if you just want to trade this on your own, what are you looking for up here? You're looking for this to try to come up into this line right here, breaks back down, comes up and starts bouncing around. You want to see it come up in here, beat this and beat this. It's going to take a lot of work to get up in here and then above and shoot higher. If you start to see this stuff happen, this means that people mean business that have more money and power than you do. Okay, let's move on. We've got QS. Look at this. You want to buy the dip? This is another one, right? And we just charted out Oxy that looks very similar. We already know what bottom is down here. We know that there's demand down below. We know that there are sellers hiding. Recall these people are sellers. They want to get out. They've been trapped for a long period of time. And you've got these people over here keep wanting to sell whenever they can. So you have these sellers, and you probably have these sellers down below. Got this seller here. This guy wants to get out. He's right over here somewhere. And you're going to want to see this start to capture support. You want to see pushes above. You want to see the bank step in to push it above, bounce in here, bounce above, and then make this giant move up. This is what you're looking for to start getting bullish on QS. DVA. Tell me this isn't gorgeous. This one's ready to be bought, to be honest with you. You can see this high up here is not as high as this one. They didn't get as greedy as before. You can see that, right? They didn't get as greedy as before, so we didn't have as much of a dip. You can see this right here. This is what I wanted to show you today, was that some of these plays I'm going to show you are probably ready to rock. My best guess is that tomorrow this thing's going to blast up to like 140. It's at 132. This is probably one of the plays we're going to play at open tomorrow. So get your shit together to buy a spread tomorrow. More than likely, DVA is the call. I've got a few others for you. You've got C-Day. These are all new, by the way. Oxy is new, QS is new, DAVA is new, C-Day is new, and sure enough, you can see this same thing happening, right? You see this coming up, going below, coming up. So we're going to wait for CVA, and we've got an all-time high I wanted to show you right there. It's a pretty bullish move right here. This is going to make a pretty big move. We didn't come from down here at 78 bucks just to fail in here. I think it really doesn't matter where you buy, though there might be a chance to get below this to make this move up. I'm telling you, when you see moves like this, okay, the move was not from here to here. The move is to move here and jump above and start trading above somewhere up here. We're in a new stage in some of these stocks. This is gangster. Then we've got you. Look at this. Come all the way up to 65 bucks. Caught a bid over here at what is it? 45.06. I want to be watching this one. I find this one interesting. Look at this. Came up, sellers, right? Came down, all-time highs, started trading down, and now we found some support. We know we have sellers in here. We can play this thing all the way down. We know exactly where they are. They're right here. We know we've got some failure down here. We know we've got banks probably saying, nope, this is the bottom down here. So we're going to wait to see if this fails, and hopefully we can get more buyers to shoot this up. If it continues to fail down below, we might ride this line down, but we're looking for buyers. You're going to set an alert here and see if the volume spikes that day. If this thing starts to get a big spike volume, it means that they're getting more opportunities to buy the lows to push this stock up. Then we've got Cook. Same situation. You can figure this self on your own. This dip down here was a liquidity grab, okay? And you've got sellers, and you have one beautiful thing. You have some consolidation. And I don't think many people are in here looking at Cook. I don't think it's a meme stock. I'm going to be looking to be a buyer down here anywhere we can, especially if we're going to do like a theta sideways, a time play. Like if you can catch a bottom down here and just grab it in the money call spread, I don't see this following any deeper unless the entire market sells off. And even then, some of these stocks are going to continue to go up even if the market sells off. Next one is PCOR. Look at that gorgeous bounce down here. Bam! Bank bot. What does that mean? That was a message that we should be buying down here, okay? And we had another bang. Bang! We're not selling. This move into after hours tonight, this is a confirmation. 1, 2, 3. This is what's called a bear trap. So we're going to be looking at this one at open tomorrow as well. I think I've given you at this point some stupid good plays going into tomorrow. You want to be watching PCOR. You could even buy this one and just cash and stock to watch this one go up. VTEX, another move. I don't need to chart all these out for you. You can start to write your own charts down here and find out where the bottoms are. But you are going to be looking for confirmed areas of support. You can see the support in the past that we had over here. You're going to want to buy this. When we slam down like this and you, boom, find someone telling you, no, we're not going any lower, you're going to look for any opportunity to take a long down here. You see the consolidation, even though it was brief down here. Anything below, I'm buying to go higher. On to Hood, which I just destroyed in a video, I think a week or two ago. There is something interesting happening with Hood. Now, any of you meme stalkers, let's take a look down here, and sure enough, we're kissing it once more. We had one, two, three, four, five, right? Wearing out these sellers. We know that support right now is at 33.19. Can we go down to like 15 or 10 bucks? Yes, we can. Absolutely. But we're going to look for some established zones of support, start building ourselves things to look for. I'm looking for these moves up. I'm looking for where we're tapping over here. And I'm going to start to track at this point. I'm going to start track. This is a new chart, but I had an old chart or a chart I did on TradingView. But we're going to start paying attention with alerts to see if we can find a jump over. So we're going to put one right there. And what are we looking for in here? We already know there's still diamond handers in here. They're going to want to sell once we start going higher. They're going to want to say to you they want to re-enter at a better price. You know, it's constant talk. But this is on my radar at this point. It's somewhere in here, probably above. But you're going to want to start to see us curl over, right? Can I put a pencil on this thing? Do a polyline for you. You're going to want to see this come up, bounce, come back down and find some support. And if it starts to move higher, that's when you're going to take your long. It's going to be somewhere in here. It more than likely will bounce once, twice, right? And then the third time, it'll make its move up higher. Oh, wait a minute. Leave that there. Bring that all the way back over there just in case. It's probably going to play out something like this. Or, it's probably going to play out something like that. You could even move this. It might come up like this. But you're going to, if it's bullish, you're going to see it start to play out like this for a giant move up. And if it doesn't do these moves here, where did you need to catch this move? You know, this is a big scale, or it could be at a bigger scale, but you want to catch the move after it's been made, or it's made attempts to go above, it's made attempts to go down and it hasn't, and then eventually it's going to rocket up higher, okay? So that's all I've got. Oh, I got one more for you. Hot damn. This was a follower that I have that was pointing this. Oh, you can see this one didn't quite pan out today. Now you could take a day trade tomorrow to see this thing max up and over. There has been a ton of consolidation, but I wouldn't take it until it sits up here. If it fails, I want to grab it way down here. Possibly in here, but more than likely way down here. So anyways, that's all I've got for you tonight. The one thing I do want to leave you with is that I am becoming more and more bearish as we move forward. All these things are playing out to drop the market. I would not be getting long in anything. You could get long in some individual stocks, but to try to throw a dart at the board to find out which ones are going to go up until December, it's so much work to find out which stocks those are. Play the market as it is in front of you and make the easy money where it is, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is important to new traders, okay? It really means a lot to me.